This tutorial will teach you how to build a motor and make it function. So there's two types of setups. This particular setup that I'm going to show you first is the most basic setup, and it just gets the motor running. Something to note about the motor is that it's non-collide. You can of course make it collide, but I don't recommend it to do that. Now you'll notice when I hover over the motor itself has no abilities to adjust torque or anything else, or speed, which may be quite jarring at first, but don't worry, that's intentional. Instead, if we go to the logic tool, you notice three inputs. We've got torque, acceleration, and speed. Now, these blocks here are going to represent the speed, the acceleration, and the torque. To get these parts, we simply go into our part tool, go into logic, then number, and there's the constant number. You can also just search constant, and then it appears there. This constant block will, as its name suggests, constantly output a particular number. So since this is going to be our torque, this is going to be our acceleration, our acceleration, and this is going to be our speed. So torque, acceleration, speed. Now all we're going to do is we're going to adjust this to make sure it's an appropriate value. Now something important to know about torque is it just works like thrust. Torque and thrust are very similar values. You would never expect 900 thrust to move a massive object. Neither would you expect 900 torque to move a massive object. You'd be expecting maybe 100,000 torque or something to move a massive object. For most cars, 5 to 20,000 is normally acceptable. So for this, with the torque value, we're going to set this, because it's quite small in this case, we're just going to set this to 1,500 since it's not moving a lot of weight. Then on our second block, you'll notice in the logic that we have the acceleration. This is a very important value. We have to set this, otherwise the motor will not work. This is something that many people forget. So the acceleration is simply how fast the motor gets up to the desired speed that you have set. It will never instantly go to that speed. So in this case, I'm going to just set this to 4. Now this means that it will get up to 4 studs per second. So in 1 second it would reach 4. In 2 seconds it would reach 60, and so on and so forth. So in this case, it's 4. You don't have to bother with the math with it. You can adjust it, fine tune it, see what works for your use case. In this case, I'm just setting it 4 since we're not going that fast. And then I'm going to set this to 100 since that's the speed, if we remember correctly. You'll notice the motor now starts to gradually increase in speed until it reaches its desired speed, which is 100. And because the acceleration was set so low, it gradually increases up to that speed.